Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So, before jumping into my thoughts about the new Hot Toy figures, I would like to wish everybody out there a Happy New Year, all the best for 2026, and let's hope that we are going to be getting plenty of cool figures for this year with some more very interesting items. So, let's dive into the review of my thoughts about these three figures. So, of course, we're going to be starting by the worst figure out there, and this is going to be the Iron Man Mark III golden and copper gold version. So, as you know, I'm not a fan of the repaints or these repainted, reused, or whatever kind of BS Hot Toys calls it. I find it ridiculous. And the fact of already starting out the year by one exclusive, it's a bit of a shameful part on the behalf of Hot Toys. Now, I'm looking at this, does not speak to me. This is supposed to be a Movie Master series. This figure never appeared, or this version of the armor never appeared in Iron Man, or I must have blinked and not seen it. Of course, as you can see, due to the fact that it's the Mark III, you're going to have exactly what was already given with the other Mark IIIs. I believe this must be the 10th different version of the Mark III, or there could even be more because I've lost count on how many times they redid a figure. But again, like I said, sticking an exclusive on it, it's going to be giving you an extra cost. Afterwards, you're like, yay, Stan reused again. So yeah, nothing really great on this figure. So sorry for the ones who like it. If you like it and you want to buy every version of the Iron Man suits out there, be my guest, go and buy it, but then don't complain because afterwards there's only going on to repaint. So now something who is very stupid again on the part of Hot Toys is you create an exclusive, then you create a special edition of the exclusive version. So technically, you already have two exclusive versions of the same figure. Now, personally, I understand why for they went with this kind of logo, because on the copper parts of the figure, you're going to be having this kind of design. Now, the big problem with this is going to weigh a ton in your box. So when you're going to be shipping out, this reminds me exactly what happened with the Mark II Unleashed, where they gave this extra table, and I had to charge some extra shipping costs when I shipped them out, due to the fact that the table who was in it was very heavy and brought up the shipping costs for this product. So yeah, very disappointed that they're going out on two exclusive. Again, if this is your cup of tea, great for you, but I find this extremely cheap, getting just a simple repaint, and as you can see, you only have 3 pairs of hands. Really not worth the money that Hot Toys is asking for it, or is going to ask for it. Now, let's jump into the third figure that Hot Toys is proposing today, and this one is a bit more interesting. And this is going to be Spider-Man Battle Damage version from the first movie. So I'm a huge fan of the Spider-Man movies who were done by Sam Raimi. As a huge Sam Raimi fan, yes, it is logic. But the movies were pretty awesome and I really liked them. Of course, Hot Toys giving us battle damage may bring in some interesting questions on are we going to get maybe a Goblin from the first movie. So that's something very interesting. Would make for a nice diorama. So, of course, you can see the battle damage on the suit. The Spider-Man logo, if I'm not mistaken, is a little bit wrong, should be changed. And afterwards, when you're looking at the pictures and you're seeing the red who's on the suit and the red on the glove, don't match up. And it looks like the grey or the silver on the hands does not match up. But we're going to have a look at that under the pictures. So this is going to be a close-up of the head sculpt. Really love the way they did it. Looks pretty cool. Now, the only part I would be a bit nitpicky is if you look over here, the frame, it's covering its eye. So I guess you would be able to pull it around so it doesn't do it. I like the little touch of giving him real hair over here. So it gives a bit of an artisan version to it. I think that was a nice little add-on to the figure. Of course, here's another picture of him with his webs. I don't remember him using that much webs or flying around when he was battle damaged like this, because he was pretty messed up with everything that the goblin showed at him. But interesting idea. Again, we come to the same question: how is this going to hold over time with all this kind of creases? Will the material hold? Will it not hold? And the fact of not going for tissue, I can understand. Like the first version of the Spider-Man that they did is kind of understanding, but afterwards this is a big problem when you're buying a figure who's going to be at least $300 or maybe a bit under $300, but this does put it as a bit expensive. Now here is the base that it comes with. So it has an interesting diorama base over here. So this is something that can be interesting to be put it on. And as you can see, there's a part of the goblin glider in the back. So that's something who is a nice little touch. Over here you can see again the pose where he's walking and is all banged up. On this picture, something looks off with the hands. They look like they're a bit got swollen. So I don't know if there was any kind of toxin in the goblin's bombs for this one, but it looks like it is it's a bit swollen compared to what it should be. So hopefully Hot Toys will be reworking this and will be changing that and upgrading it. And over here on this picture, maybe it's a way of the light, but it looks like there's a bit of a better continuity for the silver over here, or the grey, but you can still see that there's a difference between the red of the rest of the suit and the hands. So when I'm looking at this picture, it gives me hope that we might see a goblin coming out for the first Spider-Man. So hey, who knows? This would be pretty cool to have one from it if you want to build up a small diorama. Spider-Man versus the Goblin. So yeah, this can be something pretty neat. So it's a nice little touch of being given this. Over here, as you can see, he's standing alone. So did they put any magnets in it so that you can pose them like this? This would be an interesting to see. Or is this just a photoshopped effect? And same goes with the gloves. Is this way of magnetic attach over here? This would be interesting to see at a later date. Of course, they don't talk about any of it, but like I said, the figure looks great and it's a cool figure. Now, the question is, will I purchase it? And for now, the answer would be no. Have a lot of Spider-Mans, and the fact that the Goblin is not out makes me a little bit more like, yeah, I'm not going to be picking this figure to have a battle damage version if I don't have a goblin to go with it. Now let's dive into the last figure that is out there and one of my favorites. And of course, this is the one that a lot of people were expecting Hot Toys to make sooner or later, and this is going to be Indiana Jones. So as you can see, I went with the deluxe version picture first. As you can see, it does come with the statue with the little horns in it, so it looks like it's light up over here. There's a bit of light effect, but I don't see anything about battery operated, so or USB operated. So this may be just a Photoshop effect, which would be a bit of a shame. So let's have a look at our Indiana Jones figures. So of course, we have the new silicone bodies on this figure. Does look a bit weird over here with this kind of pose. As you can see, the articulation point over there, that's a bit of a shame. If you want to go completely seamless, that would have been maybe a better way to go and cover it. But the head sculpt looks nice, the gear looks nice, the figure looks nice. So yeah, I'm kind of down for it. So of course, here's another pose over here, and this is where you can see, depending on how you pose it and the way, you can really do some cool poses without seeing too much articulation on the figure. Now continuing with it, so here we have the famous whip. So this is interesting that it holds out like this. Is there some metal wire under this real leather whip? This is something that's going to be interesting to see. And over here, more pictures of our brave Indiana Jones with one of those stones who he keeps in the bag, and of course the figure looks pretty amazing, the head sculpt looks pretty good, so everything over here does look pretty decent. So of course here he is posing on the deluxe version of it. Again, like I said, you might want to move your hand a bit to cover this up if you're going to do some photo shoots about it. But you would have noticed one big issue with this figure, and I'm going to be talking about it a bit later on. Now again, this picture, I understand where it's coming from, but again, you can see over here the articulation where there's no articulation, but you can see over here the way the arm is bent. This is definitely not how an arm should be bent in reality. So this is where the seamless bodies come to a certain point of, yeah, not that great. Over here, like I said, the head sculpt looks incredible and really looks really great. So of course it does come with the eyeball system, and now we're going to be talking about something who is a bit worrying me, and as you can see, the fedora hat is always on, and we have no pictures that if it's the exclusive or the deluxe version or the regular version without the hat. So it looks like the hat is not an accessory that can come off, and from what I read, it doesn't look to be. So this is something who's a bit of a shame. I have next to me the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom from Sideshow, and the hat does come off. So that figure came out over 10 years ago, and yeah, I cannot understand in 2026 or early 2027 when this figure is going to come out that you cannot should remove the hat or not. I guess they put it in this way because there's a magnetic attach so that you can have access to the rolling eyes. This would make a lot of sense. So here is a picture of the silicone body, and it does look pretty neat. It even gives me the wanting to try to get maybe take out the Indiana Jones from my Raiders of the Lost Ark and give him the shirt and dress him up a bit like this. That would be kind of interesting, but might be putting this as a little bit expensive to be doing that. Over here we do have what I was talking about, the real leather, so this is pretty neat. And I mean, this should have been done for a very long time. I'm not going to talk about, I've been watching Ricky Gervais special last night on Netflix, but Indiana Jones seems very happy to see us. So let's go on to the deluxe diorama base, and I'm going to have some issues with it, but I think when we be comparing the two, what we get in the box, you will understand my problem with this base. So the base is cool, that you can expose it on one side with the bridge over here, where he's climbing back up, where he's fighting the priest and kicking him off the bridge, and then the possibility of where he picks up these little amulets or stones, however you want to call them, and this is a pretty neat idea to be done. Now, this is cool, but it has one big issue. So, here we have the regular version, and the regular version comes with as a base, who is pretty nice and standard. Now we move to the deluxe version, and we don't have the base anymore. Now, the reason I am not very happy about it, if this is a deluxe version, well, you should get everything you get in the regular version, and then you should get the extra exclusive deluxe edition extras. Now, I'd say, but John, why would you make so much of a fuss of not getting the stand? Now, if, like a lot of collectors, you're exposing these figures in a vitrine, well, you can see the big problem over here, because there's a few extra centimeters or inches over here that the figure is going to go higher, and you may not have the shelf space or the way you dispose the vitrine that will accommodate him on the stand. This is why I thought it would have been nice to have this stand over here, remove Indiana Jones, have the regular stand with him standing in front of it, exposing some of the extra little items on it. That would have been a great touch from Hot Toys. But Again, this is something who's a bit disappointing. Maybe they might course corrected later on, but I think if you're getting a deluxe version, you should be getting what you get in the regular box plus the deluxe accessories. And again, I'm going to be speaking, this I believe will be under $300 or just a little bit under $300. So I think for that price, you should be getting the basic stands. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know if you're going to be getting any of these figures. Do you agree with my review? Are you maybe one of these unconditional fans of these many repaints of Iron Man? Let me know in the comment section. Let's start a conversation around it. So yeah. Also, please remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share, comment in the section if you like this kind of videos. Also, you can go and check out my Facebook page. I have plenty of other news and pictures going up, stuff for sale, so go and check it out. The links are in the description. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I would like to wish you once more time a Happy New Year for 2026. Until then, we'll see you in my next video. Bye!